Okay, so we're going to be looking at my affiliate store here. Batch production is something that we've had for a long time, but recently this year we really made some major improvements to it and allowed for the ability to treat it more kind of like the campaign stores where you can do things like set a date, an open date or a close date for the store. You can add a countdown timer to a batch site. As far as Business Hub, any batch stores get merged or displayed together under a batch stores section. So yeah, it's seen a lot of improvements, but we're still getting feedback of ways that we can improve it even further. And one of those requests was the ability to determine the due date of orders submitted through a batch site. Even with the improvements that we made earlier this year, the due date for an order was still based on when that order was placed. And we got quite a bit of feedback that for a batch site, you may not want that to be the case, right? You may want the due date to be based off of, let's say, when the store closes, or maybe after a specific, like a week after the store closes, or something along those lines, right? So we have a couple options here. So I'm going to take a look at my my affiliate store here, and I'm going to go ahead and set a close date for December 22nd, so a week from now. And I'm going to open this store. Let's say it opened yesterday, so let's go ahead and save the changes there. And now we're going to go back into administration and production options. So these are the new options available here. Under order due date calculation. So we can keep it as it always has worked, which is to calculate the due date based on when the order was placed. We can calculate using the store close date, which is probably the option that most people will want. It's kind of like the store closed. Now we can determine how long it's going to take for us to produce these orders. Or the last option here is for you to manually specify when you would want to produce those, right? So let's say the store closes on the 22nd, but I don't want to calculate based on that date because we're taking a holiday break from the 22nd. We're not coming back until, let's say, January 4th, right? So I may want to calculate based on that date. So again, just a lot of flexibility there as far as when you want the orders to calculate their due date on. The only difference I would kind of mention here is these two are calculated dates. So, calculate based on when the order was placed, or calculate based on when the store closes. The system still goes through the calculation, which looks at your production days. So, what you have your production time set to, whether 9 days of production, 15 days, and then we also allow you to set your days of the week that you run production. We'll just quickly have a glance at that. So you can set what are your default production days. I have mine set to 15. Right now I have it set that I do production all week long. You might have Saturday and Sunday turned off. You may also have some blackout dates for holidays and things like that. So these first two options go through that same calculation. This last option does not. So here you're actually setting the final date that you want for all those orders. So just keep that in mind. This one works a little bit differently. So here you're saying that the orders would be ready on this day. All right. So yeah, great improvement to batch productions. We're continuing to make improvements to batch production as we receive additional feedback. So keep that coming.